What's up, guys? So I've had a few people reach out to me and ask me how I draw from appendix and how to achieve that sub-second draw. So hopefully I can go over this and help you guys out in the range. Eight-seven. All right, you guys, so there's a few things that I'm considering when I'm trying to achieve this. So first thing is I want to get the mindset of going fast, and I want to substitute fast with soon. So instead of doing everything faster, my mindset's going to be do everything sooner. Simply what I mean by that is as soon as you hear the timer go off, you need to react fast. So reaction time is going to be a big part of it. Hand speed, right? So you do kind of need some hand speed. That's going to be something you can develop over time, but hand speed is a part of it. The efficiency of movement. A byproduct of efficiency is speed. All right, so let's actually break down my draw. Okay, so I'll start. This kind of works for all hand positions, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to be starting with hands, wrist below belt, like a standard USPSA kind of style start position. So upon the timer, it would go off. My non-dominant hand is going to actually reach towards the gun, right? I'm actually going towards the gun, and I'm going to pinch with my fingers pointed downwards, pinch, grab up, clear garment. Okay, so I'm just do that off the timer just to demo it. That's it, right? So the act of me grabbing my garment and pinching it brings the garment up, and I just need to bring it up a little bit. I see a lot of people do this where they come up all the way up across their shoulder and they pull it. That's wasted movement, that's wasted efficiency. All right, so we've got how to actually clear the garment and how to grab it and establish it, right? So the next thing, before I get into the next step, I want you guys to consider your holster placement and your gun placement and your kind of ride height. So there's a fine balance, especially when concealment or from concealment, there's a fine balance of accessibility, right? How efficient and how easy you can actually draw and establish a grip on the gun. And there's also the term of concealment, right? So if I have my gun really high, it's gonna print a lot more. But if I have it really low, it's gonna conceal a little bit better. But I'm also gonna have to deal with the fact that I can't really access it, right? And that's kind of my battle between like concealment and speed and efficiency. So once you kind of find out what you like and where your balance kind of lies, we can go from there. All right, so let's actually go to the next step. Okay, so you've actually cleared the garment. Now the next thing, we want to get our primary or dominant hand on the actual gun to establish the master grip. Now there's different ways that you can approach this. Some guys like to scoop out, right? So if the hands are below or wrist below belt, they like to scoop up. That's cool. Some guys like to stab in, and that's okay as well. I kind of like to do kind of at an angle, right? And I got this tip from Riley Bowman during his pistol IQ class. So if you guys have a chance to take his class, I would highly recommend it. So once you clear garment, I actually like to tack it at an angle, right? Kind of where that gap is between the frame and the belt line, right? So what this allows me to do is it's very consistent, and it's also ensuring that I get a good grip every single time. Now my thumb kind of lies on the back of the gun, kind of where the iron sight is. Let's do one of these. Now, once you actually get the gun out and established, and my grip is meeting right here, right? So I leave my hand clear my garment so I have access to the gun. And as the gun comes out of the holster, my hands are in a position where they can meet, and I'm building my grip here at my chest rather than out here or even out here, right? So the point is that I want to start building my grip sooner instead of faster. Let's go off the timer, and I'm just going to stop right at where I'm building my grip. Boom, right there. Now, a key point in building grip, and this is kind of the same way between appendix or outside the waistband. The meaty part of my finger stabs into that trigger guard, like almost like a karate chop, right? I'm building my grip here, and I'm out. And this is going to ensure that I lock my grip in. And it's very consistent. It's a very consistent anchor point and a very consistent index. Once you kind of establish your grip, right, I can essentially start shooting from here. Once I build my grip, I can start shooting anywhere to the target into a full presentation. This is a part that I feel like is very, very underrated, And this is going to take some time to get to the level of finding your index and your structure point. Something that I mean by index and structure point, right? So structure, I got that from Tim Herron at his class. Again, if you guys have an opportunity to take his class, I highly recommend taking his class. He believes in structure. There's different ways you can kind of interpret that. You can use structure, you can use index, you can use natural point of aim. Just whatever vibes with you, use that. As I'm drawing my gun, right, I'm using a few things to sort of aim. I'm not going to be point shooting this, but I am using some other things to reference my aiming. Now, it can simply be your hands pointed at a target. Some guys like to use their thumbs and point their thumbs at the target. I don't really believe in that. That's okay, though. I kind of like to use my shoulders, my wrist, and my hands. And then as far as my visual piece goes, I'm looking for the back of my slide, or I'm looking for like the optic housing on the target. So what happens here when we over confirm, I'm just gonna go ahead and do one quick demo here with Overc Confirmation, then I'll do a demo of me using my structure and using my index to get a hit on target. Okay, so this is gonna be the Overc Confirmation one. And this is gonna be using my structure and my index. Essentially what I'm doing here is that I am shooting sooner rather than just faster. Okay, so again, going back into that mindset of doing things sooner rather than faster. However, as I said earlier, that index and that structure takes some time to actually build and develop. So you guys are gonna have to go in the range and do that yourself. You guys can dry fire that as well. Something that I did during my dry fire to kind of figure this out was I would simply look at something, right? Pick out something that you're dry firing, lock it in your mind, memorize it, close your eyes. Then you draw, point out, and see where that gun actually kind of presents to when you open your eyes. Keep the gun there, kind of see like, okay, cool, I was off to the right. So hey, make that mental note, try it again. Looking at a spot, I'm still off to the right. So mentally knowing this, I know I need to just maybe move my hands or orientate something, right? I need to figure that something out. It's gonna be different for everybody, but figure that something out in order to get that presentation exactly where you want it. So let's do this again here. That was just slightly high, but I'm good with that. All right, so now that we've got pretty much everything down to go, we're gonna go ahead and do this, everything all together. 9.7. So now I'm gonna start to push some more hand speed, and let's see if I can get that draw below 9.7. Eight, 7. See if we can go even faster. 8.1. See if we can even push more. 7.5, but that was a far right delta. Now that we've kind of got everything down, the fun part about it is that when we're on the range, we're allowed to do this. We're allowed to make misses, we're allowed to make deltas and charlies and whatever it is. But the biggest point of our range time is to experiment, explore, and push. So what I mean by that is let's push to a new level that we're not comfortable at. Let's push beyond that level and sort of learn that level, right? And that's why we're on the range. That's why we do these things on the range. So for me, 7 yards and in, I can kind of rely on my index and structure to get a guaranteed alpha hit in under a second. Anything beyond 7 though, that's kind of where my wheels start to fall off. It's not really something that I practice often. I just don't really feel like it's very important on the whole aspect and whole picture of things. But for the sake of the video, I do kind of want to explore it today. So I have my target set up at around 10 yards this time, and I'm just gonna try to see kind of what I had to do to ensure all alpha hits in under a second. That was a 90, exactly where I was looking at. Stand by. Dang. That was a 90 again with a right Charlie. Stand by. 9.1 with an alpha. Stand by. 8.9 with a low left Charlie. One more time here. Bad grip, but I still made it happen in a 1 second flat. So something that I can make note of there. So right, doing that and kind of paying attention to certain little things. Something that I've noticed was that times when I'm like very focused on a spot on the target and I draw to that spot, I hit a zone, right? When I'm kind of visually distracted or not visual disciplined, and I'm looking at a whole target instead of just a fine spot on the target, then I start to get my Charlies and sometimes even misses. So going forward, I think I'm going to start to just incorporate my vision a little bit more and start to pick out a very small spot on the target, and hopefully that ensures me a little bit more success.